everyone, I'm Jenny. Hi everyone, I'm Jenny Ronzman. I'm co-director of the GPS program, and we're gonna get started in just a few minutes, but we're gonna kind of hold the door to see if there's anyone else who's gonna join us. Kind of like when a class starts on the first day and you're like, oh my God, I'm running down the hallway. There's some people running down the virtual hallway, I'm sure right now. So just sit tight, and then in a few minutes, we'll get started talking about how to be your own advocate, which is going to be a really powerful and amazing presentation for all of us. So just hold on tight.
Can you guys hear me okay?
Okay, if you're just joining in, this is the session on being your own advocate throughout your college experience, but I'm still going to give just a couple more minutes because our attendee number keeps jumping, which is awesome. And then we'll get started. So just hang on. Okay, I think we are going to get started. So just to let everyone know again, this is a session about being your own advocate in college. And being an advocate is something that I don't think a lot of students consider when they come to college for the first time. And I'm Jenny Ronsman, co-director of the GPS program. So kind of taking students through the ropes of being their own advocate is a big part of what I do when I work in the GPS program. But because most of being your own advocate involves things you do yourself to make connections and take risks and find your allies, what we're going to do today is let you actually hear about those experiences from 3 students who have gone through that, gone through the trenches over the course of their time in college, and they can give you some benefit of their experience from their first year. So what we're going to do is just go through a little bit and have each student talk a little bit about their experience. But if you have a question while you're listening to what these students have to say, there's also a question and answer chat that is open, and you can type your question and we will make sure the students get time to answer it. And we'll do everything we can to kind of go through and make sure that you get a sense of what that means to be a self-advocate. So I am just going to let you know this is the first time I've ever done Microsoft Live, so if I make a mistake, please be forgiving. But I'm just going to look down at the students, and one of you raise your hand about which one of you wants to go first. I'm kind of looking at them. Nobody's raising. Oh, all right. So the first person I'm going to introduce you to is Paige Anderson, and she's a senior, and she's going to talk to you a little bit about her experience with self-advocacy.
Hello. So I am so sorry to both of you guys for already hearing my stuff, but oh well. So I came into college. I was first generation, so that meant that nobody in my family has really gone to school before. So everything was new to me, FAFSA, applying, and then especially once I got here, all of this was brand new stuff. My mom is my #1 supporter. I love her to death, but you know, sometimes just supporting somebody and just saying you can do it doesn't always help you kind of find your way any faster. You know that you're supported, you know you're loved when you go home. You know that when you go home and you say, well, I don't know how to do this, they say, me neither, but I love you. Like, that's great, but that didn't help me progress any further along my journey. And so that was hard because I knew that she was giving me everything she possibly could, but I was still lacking the things I really needed to do and to have to be able to be who I am now. And so that was really hard for me because that meant that I really had no choice but to become my own advocate. I didn't have anybody I could turn to, and they ended up being my professors and my faculty here. So they weren't found in an apartment on campus necessarily. You know, there wasn't a website or an office I could go to and just find the resource I needed. It was in the relationships that I had built with people.
Sorry, I already made my first mistake. Okay, thank you, Paige. And now we're going to send it over to Faith Click, and she's going to talk a little bit about her experiences.
So hi, my name is Faith. I am a returning senior here at UW Green Bay. I will be graduating this December. So I guess in terms of college student years, I'm ancient. So I've been here for a while. I, much like Paige, am a first generation student. My parents were really supportive of me when I decided to go to college, but they knew nothing. On top of all of that, I was like, I'm gonna be a theater major, and they were the athletes, top athletes in high school. Everybody in my family works in the trades or in the healthcare system, and I was like, yep, I like to sing. So nobody really knew what to do with me. They were just kind of being my cheerleaders, going, yay, you got this. So when I got to college, I was learning everything on my own. And it came down to just trying to make those relationships with my professors and any professional staff here on campus, because I didn't know where to go. It was all about the relationships that I made with people, because nobody had taught me, or I didn't really know anyone that I was close to who knew how to get there, who knew what path that I was supposed to take. So in order to become my own self-advocate, I needed to form my own path and find those people who could lead me down it.
Okay, awesome. So now we're gonna pass it on over to Yer Zhang and hear what she has to say about her experiences with self-advocacy. Hi, how are you doing?
Hi, I'm doing good. Sorry, I am in the library, so I have to have my mask on. Can you guys hear me okay? Awesome. Okay, so I don't know why the camera is going to keep shutting on and off, but I will try my best to keep it on. So I am actually a transfer student from Northeast Wisconsin Technical College, and from the technical college to UWGB, I have been on my own a lot through the journey, even though I have a few siblings who were in college, but they went to a different college, so it's a whole different process for them. So again, like pay, share, and faith share, you know, a lot of time you have to be your own advocate and find other advocate to help support you. So say when I started at the technical college, I had to explore a lot of the resources by myself, get to know a lot of the leadership and instructors by myself. And then I have to do the same thing when I transferred to UWGB, where to, you know, no place where to go for help and um, can I reach out for help? Yeah, like Asian, like you say, you know, family are very supportive, but a lot of times they don't help you so much. Once it comes to your password, you know, that part that's all their own. So I think they consider to the whole. I'm not first generation, however, going to college and most like equal myself. So I did a lot of the exploration.
Okay, awesome. I think what we're gonna do is I'm gonna send it back to me so you don't have to look at the camera doesn't have to focus on any one of you. And I'm just gonna say that a lot of the things that people are mentioning, all three of you mentioned, are really important parts of self-advocacy, and one of them is searching out your allies on campus. So that can come in a lot of different forms. I know a lot of you in the last session talked a little bit about a faculty member that was particularly influential for you. So I'm going to open it up if you can share that information with our students too, just how a particular faculty member allowed you to get the confidence and the resources you needed to self-advocate. So we'll just kind of go in the same pattern as we did before. So Paige, I'll send that over to you.
Hi again. So I think a lot of people expect to find their person right away, or, you know, kind of like in their first semester, like you're just going to click. And for me, that really didn't happen. I was still figuring out how I wanted to do my own thing for a little bit. So I really started connecting my sophomore year. I met Dr. Jason Cowell. He is in the psychology department. He also runs a neuroscience lab. He teaches neuroscience classes and those sorts of things. And I had some practice because I had asked questions to my professors after class when I wasn't in front of a lot of people. So I'd practiced asking questions with some people before, but with him, it was different because it was something that I was genuinely interested in. It wasn't one of my gen ed classes that I just had a question about. It was something that I care about and that I wanted him to know that I cared about it. I wanted him to see that I am so serious about what I want to do. I'm so serious about just wanting to learn and absorb it and really enjoy what he had to say. He became my advisor. He became really my advocate before I could advocate for myself. He didn't do it for me, but he did it alongside me. He taught me how to reach out for things and was just there to help me when I had questions. I work in the neuroscience lab now with him. I have my honors project coming up with him. I got so many different opportunities because he mentioned me. He thought of me. If someone said, oh, I'm looking for a person who can do this, he said Paige Anderson can. If I need someone to be on a panel for certain things like this, he's always saying that I'm his go-to because he knows me. We've gotten to know each other and kind of where we're both coming from. And so that has really helped me because he has opened doors for me, or at least shown me those doors that I can open for myself now. Doors that I wouldn't have known about and that sometimes I still don't know about just because I'm not in that academic loop all the time, but he'll put me in that loop and then let me navigate for myself. So that's been a super huge help, especially with now that I'm about to graduate.
All right, yeah, that's amazing. I think a couple of different things to. Can you hear me okay? It says my mic's muted, but then it doesn't. A couple things to point out there. I think the first is that you always want to be looking for your allies. They may not present themselves initially, but when you find a teacher, and you will, when you find a professor or a friend or an office or a staff worker that sees the potential you all have in you, to reach out and take a risk to make a connection with that person, because they will try to make those connections for you, but you also sometimes have to be vulnerable and take that risk and reach out and say, I'm going to show this person, you know, what I can do. And then they can be your partner and your ally, and in self-advocacy, it was just really, really important. Okay, so we'll send it over to Faith and see what she has to say.
So I have known Professor or Dr. Courtney Sherman for a while now. I started going to camps here, actually, the music camps, when I was 13 years old. And when I was 13 years old, the way I perceived myself anyway, was that I was really awkward and shy. According to other people, I was pretty talkative still, but I was kind of shy with who I was. I wasn't used to people listening to me, and if I said something, it wasn't, you know, it wasn't supported, it wasn't right, or like who I wasn't cool, which everybody goes through in middle school, but it was still hard. And I get there, and I was wearing these, when I look back at the pictures, awful, like colored hair clips in my hair that were all different rainbow colors. Some, I think, even had sparkles in them. It was bad. And I was sitting by myself in the Widener Center, and Courtney sees me sitting by myself, and she goes, "Oh, pink." She's like, "I really like that color. That's one of my favorite colors." And she kind of strikes up a conversation with me, and I was kind of like taken aback that this random adult would want to talk to me and would like want to pay attention to me. And throughout the time that I did camps, I ended up doing them throughout my high school career. I learned more. I knew nothing before I got to camp. I still feel like I know nothing. But she kind of taught me everything that nobody else would. She was the one who was letting me in on the secrets of life that weren't really secrets at all, because she was actually paying attention to me, and she was listening. And for somebody to actually want to hear what I have to say is still something that baffles me, and that I struggle with a lot. It was just very eye-opening, and something that I'm eternally grateful for. She ended up, when I got to school here, I didn't think I was going to come to UW Green Bay. I didn't want to originally. But then I was like, you know, this place feels like home. I tried it. I don't know why I thought I never wanted to come here. That was probably the weirdest thought I ever had in my life. She becomes my voice coach for my musical theater major, and she becomes my mentor. She's honest with me. She tells it like it is, but she's kind, and she, again, genuinely listens to what I have to say. She seems like she truly cares, which is something that I had been searching for a long time. And that's something that I don't think, that's a gift that you can never repay.
Absolutely. That's a really great story. And I think, like you said, and I think Paige said this too, it's really hard at the onset, you think all these things are going to happen on day one. They don't all happen on day one, but they do happen, especially at a place as special as UWGB. These conversations that we're having today are not unique to Paige and Faith. I've heard people say this, students that I know that have said this over and over again about this campus and about this campus community. It's really about just sort of exploring your options and taking advantage of people that are willing to listen to you and want to hear what you say and work with you, because those things are truly around every corner. And finding those allies is an incredible part of building your confidence that you can act on your own behalf, and that's what self-advocacy is all about. Okay, I'll kick it over to Yer, and she can let us know what she has to say.
Yeah, so very similar experience like Paige and Faith here. When I was starting college, it was a stress. It was stressful for me because I am a mom, a wife, a daughter-in-law, and my job really stressed me out. But shortly after I got into college, my grandma had passed away. So that has stressed me out a lot because um, being in the Hmong culture, being married, even though you're still so young, you are expected to do a lot of adult stuff, a lot of planning for funerals. So I was really stressed out, and at that time, we were in spring semester, and I was not doing so well in one of my class. I couldn't go to class. I couldn't do any homework, and I didn't know how to reach out to my instructor then. So a couple of days after my grandma passed away, I had let my instructor know that, I have something comes up and it's causing me to not going to be able to pass her class, And she did explain to me, she's like, you still have time to withdraw from the class if you want. So in that way, it won't affect your financial aid. I knew what was the gonna um the obstacle I'm gonna go through. So I did tell her like it's okay. I totally understand. And I just had a little bit more time to catch up on the class, and she gave me the time that I asked for from her. Um, but unfortunately, it was just my grandma, and then my other grandma passed away, and then my uncle had passed away. It was just like back to back of funerals, and so it's been so stressful that I couldn't even catch up with her class at all. So by the time that the semester ended, I pretty much failed her class, but I did not blame her. It was my own responsibility that I couldn't catch up. However, every time I reached out to the instructor, she kept telling me, even though if the window's closed, you can still submit these assignments, and I can try my very best to go in and fix that for you. And so now that we're going from summer to fall, I did I like thought about how much she was willing to expand the time frame for me. Even though we're way past the semester, way past the deadline to enter all those grades in, she just kept telling me like, if you really want to and get those homework in, and I will do it for you. And then finally by fall time comes, and I said to her, I'm like, hey, I truly appreciate that you're willing to give me the time to catch up on this class, even though we're like 2 semesters later. And I told her it's okay. I know that, it's something that it was my responsibility, and therefore I will just retake the class. So she's like, but do know that I will be here. So right after that, by her just showing that she will try her very best of me, had given me so much hope and faith in myself, knowing that someone also believes in me. Someone knows that I can do it. So ever since then, I was able to have the encouragement from her to continue, I retook the class, and I passed the class with no trouble at all this time. And then I also got to build a relationship with her, really close relationship with her. Um, I hosted a lot of events at the college, along with being a teacher to a couple of her classes. And then from there, she helped me build network with the other education teachers, which was great because together all five instructors came together and helped me keep going for my degree, and they'll help me build up within the school district and other college. So they were actually were um, the one who actually helped me transfer to UWGB, which was great because they brought the um, coordinator from UWGB to NWTC, and allow me to be that person and know that I can go, I can go forward and go get my bachelor's with UWGB, knowing that I'm not gonna fall behind.
Awesome. Yeah, that's a really good, we got a really good range of things here. So there's professors that can provide encouragement, mentorship, networking opportunities, but also professors that you don't think are going to be maybe a mentor because they're not part of your professional path, can be incredibly helpful in building that confidence and helping you earn the ability to be your own advocate. So I think the key here is, yeah, use your voice. Use your voice when you've got a problem. Use your voice when you take a risk and talk to somebody and ask a question. And more likely than not, you're going to find out that people here want to be your ally. They do want to help you. And self-advocacy doesn't mean doing everything by yourself without the help of anybody else. It means being willing to ask questions and figure out resources so that you and your support system can make things happen. And that's kind of what that's all about. So we're kind of butting up against our end here. So I want to obviously thank the three of you for coming in to talk with us today. And again, I'm the co-director of the GPS program. So anytime any of you need help or have questions, even if you're not in the GPS program, you can feel free to email me. It's pretty easy to find my information online. But just to summarize the big things you want to think about, take risks, be brave, explore your options, ask questions, and search out your allies. Those are the kinds of things that you can do to really, really help cement your success. I think to close out, I'm just going to ask each person to tell me one office on campus that you found to be incredibly helpful while you were here. So we talked a little bit about staff, but like one organization or office that you found to be really helpful. So I will, Paige, I'm going to make you start first.
Okay, so I'm gonna have to think about this a little bit, but it's not really an office. I mean, the whole psychology department, I would say. I mean,
Yep.
They also have a student success center. I work there as well, so you can come talk to me again. Oh gosh, okay. It says I'm muted, but I'm not. Okay.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we help students in the psychology field. I guess you really don't have to be if you really don't want to. If you just come talk to me, that's fine. But we help you kind of figure out, classes you should take. You should, like, just the things that you may not want to ask a professor right away just because it's still a little scary, just kind of taking it day by day is kind of important. So maybe you just talk to another student in the program and just see how they're doing it. So like, and even if you're not in psych, each department will have those kinds of resources for you, or at least a faculty who you can reach out to. So it's not a specific office, but, look in your own how you looked where you're already going to spend your time. Sometimes it's not a department that is made specifically for that. It's, if you want to go into education or theater or psychology or whatever it is, look at the people that you're going to be interacting with for the next 4 to 5 years, because, they're going to help you in so many ways.
Absolutely. All right, Faith?
I'm
sorry, I kind of put you on the spot there.
No, it's okay. I think, for me, geez, I think I'm gonna have to kind of go with more of Paige's answer, and say the theater department as a whole, or maybe the Office of Student Life. I guess that was. When you're, I feel like maybe this is just kind of all departments as a whole, but like when you really get involved in your major, it kind of sometimes becomes your whole life. So kind of like becoming a student ambassador and getting hired and becoming a part of the Office of Student Life, it gave me something else to focus on. It gave me, in a way, even though it's, it doesn't feel like work, but even though it is work, it let me breathe. I absolutely love what I do, and I wouldn't take anything I've done back as far as like my career goes. I love the major that I chose, but sometimes it's just nice to do something else.
Yeah.
So the Office of Student Life gave me another path and gave me another choice. They gave me room to be more than just my major, which is really, I don't know, fulfilling in a way.
Awesome. Okay. And real quick, you're?
Yeah, I would agree with Faith there. Student life does do a lot. Like, even though being a student ambassador is a job, it allows you to explore more about yourself. It allows you to be another advocate for other students. Even for us students, it's nice to have make networks with professors and leaders, but however, it's also very comforting to get to know other students and hear from their experience. So being a student ambassador, no student life allows students, to just release some stress there. And then the other office that I really find, helpful for me during my journey here is the MISA office. When I just transferred here, I didn't know where to go, so I went to the MISA office because I have already met Bao, who was one of the leaders who work in there. And so she helped me know some people, and then I got to meet Mai, and the students in there were just phenomenal. They were really nice. They greeted me very, really nicely. So right away, I feel welcomed there because it was also a place where I did not feel out of place, especially for a student of color. I was kind of like nervous, but then when I went to Misa, I was like, oh, okay, like this is where the place is, So it was really nice to know that Misa was there for me when I like my second home on campus, and the student life is my third home because now I.
Oh, sorry. I didn't mean to send myself live all of a sudden there. Did I cut you off? Go ahead and finish.
Nope, you're good. I was done already.
Okay. Okay. So I think you can find information on all of those things on the UWGB website very easily. So Student Life, MESA, which is the Multi-Ethnic Student Affairs Center, and then individual departments for whatever major you might be going into. And those are really great places to go. So again, I just want to thank the people that came here for us today. Thank you, your Faith and Paige, and good luck to everybody on day one and on the second day of GB Welcome. All right, have a great day.